Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And today, because the holidays are just around the corner, we will be unwrapping not just presents, but 5 life-changing decluttering tips that will help you achieve a clutter-free new year. That's right. If you're listening to this podcast when it's released, it is December 2024, which means that the new year is just around the corner, and I want to create this simple, easy, actionable podcast episodes to help you prepare. So if you have, I want to achieve a clutter-free, clean and tidy home as your New Year's resolution for 2025, these tips are going to be life-changing. I'm going to make things super actionable, super simple, and doable. And my hope is that you will finally be able to purge and reap all the wonderful benefits of having a clutter-free, clean and tidy home. So let's jump into number 1. And this is really something to avoid. And if you do this, well, rather, if you stop doing this, you will save yourself countless hours and stress and overwhelm and anxiety. And tip number 1 is to please stop organizing your clutter. It does not work. It will never work. You are not going to be able to take all that stuff and fit it into a container. The truth is, if things are not fitting, you have too much stuff. It's as simple as that, right? Your home is telling you you have too much stuff. So too much time is wasted when we try to organize our clutter. This is so incredibly common. So I want to say this. It is very common. You are not alone. So many people keep making this mistake, but it wastes time, it wastes energy, effort, and it completely annihilates motivation because it just does not work. I can't tell you how many times I have clients start working with me and they go, Margo, on our first one-on-one Zoom call, they go, Margo, help me organize the stuff. And as I'm doing a virtual tour of their home, I'm like, that's not going to happen because we need to downsize and declutter first. So some of us go out to purchase containers and bins to house these things, and it's money that you are wasting on something that is not sustainable. Maintenance is almost impossible because the spaces within a day are overflowing. Things need to seamlessly fit into your space. If you can have empty space, even better. So the point is before you run out and you get super excited because of Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday and all of these holiday deals, and you're like, I'm going to go to Target or Amazon or Home Goods. Oh my goodness, don't get me started on Home Goods and the Container Store. And I'm just going to pick up all of these bins and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to try to make things fit. You are saying the wrong stuff. Forget the pretty bins, forget the trinkets, forget the boxes, forget the label, forget it all. Declutter first, downsize, minimize. Once you're down to like the bare bones of what you're keeping, and by the way, that's incredibly subjective. Keep what you need, keep what you love, keep what you use. I'm not here to dictate what you keep and what you toss. My point is, when you're down to the stuff that matters, the stuff that you want to keep, then you can move on to organizing. And a pro tip here is please, always measure before you buy. Okay, we are not fitting stuff into the containers we bought. We are buying containers to fit the stuff that we already own. I hope that makes sense. So you're going to declutter first. Now, how are you going to declutter? Now, the first thing that you're going to do, and this is actually tip number 2, please do not skip this step. Please do not skip this step. And you are going to create a decluttering schedule. The aimless decluttering has got to stop. No list, no schedule, no system essentially means almost no progress. It is aimless and it contributes to procrastination. If you want to start kicking butt with your clutter in the new year, we have to make some kind of to-do list. And look, it doesn't have to be incredibly intricate. Please stay away from perfectionism and hours of creating a masterpiece of a schedule. This is just you procrastinating. You can literally take 10 minutes of your time, a piece of paper or the notes section in your phone, and you can create a to-do list. All you're going to do when it comes to creating your schedule is you are going to walk around your home. You're going to write down all the rooms of clutter, right? So your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathroom, your closet, your kids' room, et cetera, right? So you're going to just make a list of all the rooms in your home that have clutter. Okay, don't overthink this. Make a list, and then you're going to choose which area of your home you're going to start with first. And I'll give you some tips on how to choose that in a little bit. But let's say you want to start with the kitchen. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a to-do list for your kitchen. You're going to simply write kitchen at the top of your paper or whatnot, and you're going to break apart your kitchen into smaller, more manageable sections. So the countertop, the table, the refrigerator, the freezer, cabinet 1, cabinet 2, lower cabinets, drawer. You can make it as large or as small as you want. The key here is to break apart the space. Okay, which leads me into tip number 3, and that is to start small. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people make, one of the most common things in the decluttering space as a coach, I hear that I just can't get enough of is, Margo, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much clutter. Where do I do? Where do I start? Okay. Taking in the big picture is torture, right? So when we're talking about even creating a schedule, you do not want to just write kitchen, because if you have a lot of clutter, okay, and you write down kitchen, you are never going to start, because there's a lot going on in our kitchen, right? Our kitchens are probably the most high traffic area in the house, and that is a lot of an undertaking, and that really leads to procrastination and feelings of overwhelm if you write down kitchen. So we want to focus on something I call bite-sized decluttering. Small wins lead to big, huge results. So you can set 15 minutes on your Alexa or on your phone or whatnot and declutter a drawer, a shelf, a small surface. You're going to keep doing that, and not only will you have energy and motivation to keep going, but you will start to see sections of your home transform into tidy gifts of joy. I had to throw that in there because it's the holiday season, right? And by the way, on that note, I actually host free bi-weekly body doubling, or rather decluttering sessions. So what that means is they're totally free. They're live. They're on Zoom. They're on Thursdays. They're 30 minutes. And what we do is we get together, we log on Zoom, and you choose a small area of your home to declutter, and we declutter live. And it's a lot of fun, and we chit chat and we show each other random items that we find. And of course, I'm there as the coach to kind of help you and guide you and answer questions that you might have. But every single one of the incredible women that shows up to these free bi-weekly decluttering sessions achieves results. You declutter for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then a lot of times they will continue to declutter even after we get off of Zoom. So I highly encourage you to sign up. Again, it's free. All it costs you is 30 minutes of your time, but the results are life-changing. I'll leave a link to register in the show notes. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Okay, so now we know we are not organizing clutter. No. We are creating a schedule, and we're starting small, bite-sized decluttering, section by section. And what you do is you will actually go room by room. So let's say you started with your kitchen, you're doing your bite-sized decluttering by section. Once you're done with your kitchen, you can move on to the next space and the next space and the next space. The key here is to complete a room from start to finish before moving on to the next space. So you might be thinking to yourself, Margo, once I make the schedule, how do I decide which room to declutter first, second, third, fourth, or fifth? Now, if you know, then it's not a big deal, right? If you have a space in your home where you're like, oh my goodness, like this needs to be decluttered, then that is where you start. But my recommendation always is try focusing on high traffic areas. I actually call them eye twitch spaces because these are the spaces in your home that you will go in and out of frequently. And every time you go in there, your eye begins to twitch because you're like, oh my goodness, why does this look so bad? Why does this look so messy? We've all been there, okay? Maybe it's a closet, maybe it's your garage, maybe it's your kitchen. Especially if you're just starting out, while decluttering your linen closet, garage, or basement is great, these are kind of nice to have, not must-have spaces. It is not as motivating as, say, your entryway or your kitchen or your bathroom or your bedroom. So you want to prioritize your eye twitch areas because they are the most rewarding. Something that actually works really well is called the 80-20 rule. This is not my rule, but I love it, dig it, like live by it, and I think it's super helpful in some spaces of your home. And that is to get rid of the top 20% that's causing 80% of your clutter. So these are large, bulky pieces of furniture, surface clutter, large pieces of artwork. This will allow you to feel like you are making progress. So this is just a little pro tip, right? Because you want to feel that motivation and you want to see the progress. And sometimes, depending on what you're decluttering, especially if it's your office and it's paper clutter, oh my goodness, don't even get me started. That is very tedious and hard. I'm sorry, it is. Paper clutter is just one of those things that feels like it can take forever. But if you want to see results and you want to kind of get that little burst of motivation, do the 80-20 rule and get rid of the bulky items first. And tip number 5 is to finish what you start. The sure way to feel unaccomplished and like we failed is to sporadically start things all over the house and never really get around to finishing them. And I totally get it. Inspiration starts in the bathroom medicine cabinet, then the pantry, then the closet, then the makeup, then the kitchen countertop. Inspiration is a wonderful thing, don't get me wrong, but we want to finish a project from beginning to end. The completion of something before moving on to a different task is what will motivate us to continue other areas of our home. Incomplete projects merely serve as a reminder of what we still have to finish, and that never, ever, ever feels good. This is why starting small is so effective. Bite-sized decluttering is manageable in one sitting, even if you have to lock yourself in a room to do it. And by the way, when it comes to bite-sized decluttering, you go as small as you are comfortable with, especially if you're somebody who maybe suffers from ADHD or anxiety or has chronic illness or, any other type of limitations. You can declutter for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can declutter 5 items, right? As long as you are continuously decluttering week by week. It could be 1 day a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever works best for you. But again, try as much as you can to finish from start to end and go room by room. So I hope this podcast episode helped you game plan being clutter-free in the new year. I'm so excited for you. This year will be the year that you finally achieve a clean and tidy home and begin to enjoy all the beautiful benefits, such as probably my favorite is that you don't have to clean as much. And it looks aesthetically pleasing as well, of course. So thank you so much for listening. Good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.